right, we're live. How is everybody doing tonight? Probably going to be a short stream tonight. Tomorrow, I got to tux up. I am going to a charity event that my wife's, well, unfortunately, I'm also involved with. But it's an annual thing that we've been going to, well, since we've been basically married, so over 20 years. It's called the Can Ball. It benefits the Atlanta Food Bank. It's put on by the Atlanta Apartment Association. And we always call it a grown-up prom. You know, I'll be wearing a tux. My wife will be wearing a very nice dress. But yeah, I gotta put on a penguin outfit tomorrow. So gotta pack, as we're going to stay at a hotel near the event, and then we're going to pop in, do our things, and then, spend the night at a hotel. So, but, I mean, like, my wife's heavily involved in that event. She was chair on a pub crawl that unfortunately we had to, well, not only attend, but we didn't have to go do the pub crawl, but I sold t-shirts all day and then had to pack up, but we raised a bunch of money for people in need of food. So how is everybody doing? Renegade, what's up? MT, what's up? So Sarah D's Canadian Diesel, I'm good. And you, I'm balls deep in a Ford Triton. Fun. So wanted to start the live stream off with kind of a rant. Recently, there was a post in the Change the Industry podcast group on Facebook, and none of the administrators or anything like that, but it really shows a lot of issues in this industry. A young technician who's an hourly employee posted that he thought he was getting underpaid. His coworker, who has almost no experience, is actually making more than he is. Now, in the subsequent post, it was take home, not gross. So we don't know exactly what the situation is, but he's feeling obviously underpaid. And when asked about his efficiency numbers, he doesn't have access to it. He literally has no access to any of his efficiency numbers. He does not know what he bills. He doesn't know any of that. He just gets paper ROs. He, does the work on them, writes up vehicles, etc. He doesn't really have any way to show what he does other than maybe sitting and going through all data and writing down, how long it took and how much it should pay. My problem, however, is a shop owner that I know that pays hourly. His immediate response was, what value do you bring to the business? It wasn't about, well, you need to talk to the shop owner. And no, it was all about him proving what he does for the business. And if you have that mentality and you don't understand that employees that do the work are really important, and, why, if a shop's not, proactively talking to their employees, and they're not proactively either giving them constructive criticism or raises, in this economy, I know it's harder to give raises, but it's even more necessary. This one blew my mind. another technician, or not another, I'm sorry, another shop owner brought up, TLE, Walmart's Tire Lube and Express, and how much they pay. Well, another shop owner stated outright he pays less than Walmart's Tire and Lube in his area. And I'm like, why would they go work for you if you pay less than a place that trains you? Because they do train you. I've done some of their training, not as a technician, but I've trained their people. And they provide all the tools. Why would you go work for an independent that's not going to train you and make you buy your own tools? It's just insanity of the hubris of some shop owners. Anyway, rant over. I just thought it was ridiculous that they're so worried about what he brings to the business and care less about what there was constructive criticism, by the way, of, figure out your hours. There were people that were basically, if they're not proactively talking to you, lube the toolbox and move on, stuff like that. But I mean, it was a very clear divide between shop owners and technicians of what to do or what he should be doing. But anyway, what kind of questions we got tonight? Canadian Diesel, what are you doing on the Triton? Isaiah, what's up? I don't know where to go. Nobody's talking in chat. I got nothing after the tuxedo stuff and the the little rant. Interesting. I'll go ahead and read it. Cam phasers and timing. Oh, go away. I think it's this one. Mary. I got a message on Instagram that I figured I'd let me respond real quick because I forgot to. But I'll go ahead and read it. I won't give you the name. Hey, FLM. About a year ago, I was in a live of yours trying to decide between IT and automotive. You gave me some really great advice. I love your channels. Anyway, you inspired me to become a technician. I'm looking for my first job in shop. I just wanted to say thank you. Keep being you, man. So, just thought that was a nice little message to get. That's interesting. MT question, is things slow at work? Yes. So yeah, seems like everything is flatlined. Yeah, pretty much. Isaiah, got 2 more weeks of my first semester of tech school left. Going to take the A1 ASE on the 9th. That's awesome. Good luck. Sarah Canadian Diesel, how about a caution of using X-Tool scanners, and the new ThinkCar scanner is running X-Tool software and it can damage your car? How can it damage your car? X-Tool runs Autel software. And ThinkCar is launch. Double check that. Yeah, ThinkCar is launch. X-Tool is Autel. Yeah, let us know what kind of damage. Now, I have had there has been issues with bugs. A tool. Yes. Next tool. EV. Which one? I'm looking. I Sorry, I'm trying to figure out because the X tool I have is definitely Autel based. Trying to find that model. D9ES. I don't know. I think that's their new model, but I don't know. Huh. It's interesting. It's a clone of Autel and a bad clone at that. There's a lot of, imagine that, Chinese cloning themselves. JJ, when you think about the Ram truck with a gas generator, oh, stupid. No, it was autofix. Okay. Okay. Um, on my X tools, I've had clone of Autel software. I've had no issues with either of the X tools I've have crashing or anything like that, but they are older tools. Think they're up to date. Don't remember for sure. But I haven't had any problems, but the ES is a new one. So we're on Google. D7W. Didn't know it was a clone of Autel. I thought it was because there's so many, everybody's kind of putting out either Autel or launch scan tools, so that's crazy. But good to know. Like I said, that's a newer model than I have. So Sayer Canadian Diesel, your opinion of buying used tools, risk of not having warranty as you're not the original buyer, like Snap-on. The biggest hurdle to that is as long as your dealer, you have to be buying stuff from them, or you have to be buying stuff from them or have bought stuff for them. I've never had a Snap-on, Matco, Mac dealer not warranty something for me. And my Snap-on tools go back close to 30 years. And I've never had anyone question me on warranting anything that was warrantable. I mean, they're not warranting something that isn't, under warranty. So it's not a big deal. But there is risk that you may wind up with a Snap-on dealer that will not warranty them or not show up, or, because you don't buy anything from them, you won't warranty them. If the biggest thing is mail-in warranty, Snap-on, Matco, and Mac, I believe all three. Cornwell doesn't. As last I checked, I don't think they do, but you can always just contact customer service and they generally will warranty it. And they don't ask for original receipts at all. So from what I've been told, I've just handed it to the tool guy. I had the X tool and it killed 3 trucks. What did it exactly kill? Canadian Diesel. What is with these aluminum pot metal bolts? ARG? Yeah. Oh. Bolts are getting worse and worse. I don't know what it is, but companies are just cheaping out on stuff like that a lot. If it's not structural, they just don't care. Yeah, I mean, I've never had it kill. I've never had, and I'm not speaking specifically on X tool, but I've had, there was a glitch with Snap-on that you'd plug it into a Honda and it put on the check engine light even without codes. It wouldn't properly scan for codes. It couldn't clear the check engine light. So you'd plug it in and check engine light would come on and you couldn't clear it, couldn't make it go away. You'd unplug the scan tool. I think that was what it was, but it wouldn't let you clear codes. Shorted out PCM during programming. What kind of programming were you doing? Were you using the JBox or were you doing some remote stuff through the tool? I'm curious at this point. I know you're having to type all this in chat, but I'm very curious. Trying to think of some other bugs that I've seen. Text using overpowered impacts. Having gone behind many other technicians, bolts rarely are either they're either kind of loose or kind of over tightened. Okay, so you're doing a PMI and also had issues with ghost codes. Ghost codes are an issue with Autel in general. I've had many problems with ghost codes that it just shows up. I've had them where I'm speaking on Autel. I've had codes that don't exist. Like literally you Google it for that car, nothing comes up. I've had codes, none of these things are as often as he's having problems with. I've had problems with codes that were real as far as an actual code for that car, but didn't exist in another scan tool. Yeah, Canadian Diesel. I've never. I've given Autel close to $10,000, and both of my tablets are basically useless. I mean, I don't have my original Maxis Mini, but that battery died quick on that one. The battery died on my Autel tablet, and you can't buy the battery. And supposedly you can re-up the warranty and they'll send it in and it'll get you a new battery, but I've heard massive waiting times for that. Brian McFarland, what's up? But so that's one of the things I've talked about with launch, is the Lenovo tablets. They use quality name brand tablets, and a lot of these other manufacturers just buy a generic Android tablet and put their case on it and then call it a scan tool, and I hate that. My original Autel was literally a tablet with a cover on it, rubberized cover. Let's tear down and rebuild a transmission with 500 pounds. So, I mean, that's one of my problems with. I've never had a problem with Autel software like you're having. I've never had issues doing PMIs other than them failing. But that was, it just doesn't go through. It doesn't fry anything. But I've done a bunch of ABS modules with PMI on Fords. He says Bosch OTC, gel test, snap-on launch, all I will ever use now. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much just mostly use Launch now. Have you seen the new Launch USA throttle? Is a gaming tablet. It's a beast, and I want it. Oh, let me look at it. If I could spell. Let's see what we got. Products, professional diagnostics. Android 13, 2 gigahertz, 8 core. Well, okay. NVIDIA chip on graphics, huh? Well, alrighty. 12 gigabytes of RAM, 2K screen. Excuse me. That's cool. I don't know. I haven't heard from my launch rep in a while. Yeah, I got it on the screen. Oops, yeah. So I'm screwing around with the camera here. Yeah, this one right here. Looks a little orange on my screen, but camera. I don't actually game on my on a tablet. What Chris asked the question, what separates the cheap oscilloscopes from the real awesome ones with regards to most common failures? Are there any common failures that cheap ones can do as well as the better ones? It means automotive faults. Usually cheap oscilloscopes that are not designed for automotive may not handle the amperage that's used in automotive as well. Their bit rates and ability to capture may not also be ideal for automotive use, but it's voltage over time. As long as you can get a clear signal in the voltage range you want and the time spec you want, it'll still find a fault over, any scope can find it, as long as it can granularly adjust to what you're trying to see. And that's usually where they run into some problems. Sample times, etc. Really cheap scopes have pretty poor sample times. An example that wasn't expensive, but the original Vantage and Vantage Pro were not scopes because their sample rate was too slow. They were graphing multimeters. They just never, they're talking old ones, not the current Vantage, whatever they call it now. That's a 2-channel scope, but Brian McFarland, hey, can wireless scan adapters for cell phones reset other things beyond code, such as window position? If so, what cell phone software would you use with those adapters? The standard adapters, that you can, buy for like $20. No, they're just going to be able to clear and scan codes. That's about it. Something like this ThinkCar 2 or the older, I think I have it right here, ThinkDiag or ThinkDiag 2, those will be able to do bidirectional controls and be able to operate things like that. They're full functioning scan tools through your phone. But the general little IM whatever, I forget what they call those. No, they're not. No software added to them is going to, as far as I know, operate other things bidirectionally. There may be some software that lets you bidirectionally control ECM stuff, but they're not wired for all protocols. As far as I know, anyway. Is the launch pretty good? I've had really good luck. I've had really good luck with launch scan tools. It's pretty much my go-to. It's my go-to recommendation is to go launch over Autel. You know, I've talked about some of the issues I've had with Autel bitrate for oscilloscopes. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The top scan is a bidirectional as well. Yeah, I mean, they're rebadged. You know, it's same stuff. You know, Canadian Diesel, you can dual boot it with full Windows and Android and run all OEM software and everything. That's why I want it more. No more laptop. I mean, yeah, cool. I've got enough. I've got enough computing power though, and I don't, I don't game on a tablet. I game on a. I don't. My son's got consoles, but I don't. I game on a PC. I don't game on my phone either. Excuse me. Canadian Diesel, opinion on federal regulated hourly rate based on years and training starting at 22 up to 60 or hour. I'm not a big fan of federally regulated anything. Eric, I'll get into your question in a minute. But the problem is you lock somebody into, let's say, $60 per hour, and inflation's going through the roof, and it's federally regulated that you pay up to $60 an hour, and in a few years, $60 is now the new 22. So that's a problem with regulating something like that. I don't want to get too political, but when you add federal regulations into something, it becomes much more difficult to change it. Icon. Just wanted to make sure. Yeah, the Icon runs launch software. The old one that was Harbor Freight's old one was Autel or Autel Copy or whatever. I don't remember. No, I don't know now. What I thought I know was different than what I thought. Eric T, do the scan tools turn into bricks with an expired subscription? Autels do. I don't know, but I don't believe Launch do. Snap-on don't. There's stuff you can't do with any non-updated scan tool, and I'll get into that in a second. But Autel will literally, Volvo, your subscription's not up to date and it doesn't have an internet connection, it will not scan Volvo. And supposedly, it will stop letting you do more and more and then won't let you do anything. I don't know about the rest of that, but I know without a current internet connection and a current subscription, Volvo is a no-go. But like Bosch, Snap-on, as far as I know, Launch doesn't do any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, so Chris, I'd love to grab a scan tool, but as a regular DIYer, the whole update thing's like such a fiasco. Icon launch based, yeah. Yeah, I mean, For a DIYer, honestly, you'll probably run into hardware issues because most of the, well, some come with 1 year updates, some come with 2 years updates. I think AutoFix comes with a lifetime update. Don't quote me on that. But for a DIYer, it doesn't give you the real estate. And I don't, I've done videos on this, but these kind of tools that connect to your cell phone gives you a full functioning scan tool, and they're not that expensive, really not that expensive. And the subscription, or the not subscription, but the renewal is not that expensive. So all tools that use launch will not break, thank God. I'm trying to remember, because I don't think any of my tools are currently out of, they've all been updated. JWC Tech new launch icon scan tools are launch based 100%. T7 on sale for $449, $899, $1699. Airco has been using the T10 quite a bit lately and not complaining much. Well, it's launch based software, so Renegade, I want the T8 and the T10. Topton R-Link. I've not specifically used that tool, but it's 200. I don't know what that is, but anyway, it should be using the launch as a DIY. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, I mean it's same as ThinkCar. It's still launch based software, but I have these sitting here, so. But yeah, no, I mean I have not used that, but I've used the launch version of it, and I've had no problem. So not my first choice for a JBox. I don't like JBox programming for a lot of reasons, but I'd rather have Cardone simply because of tech support. If something goes wrong and you've got to call into tech support and it's not an officially sanctioned device, they will wash their hands of you and not give you any help, even if it's on their end. Whereas if it's a sanctioned device, they will help you. But it works fine from what I've used on the launch version of it. Oh. I'm just tired of dragging my laptop around for programming. Prefer to have less hardware in my truck. That's understandable. But yeah, no, I mean it's that's why there's I don't get them as much, but I get a lot of comments about me being a shill for this company or that company. And regardless of the whoever, doesn't matter if they send the equipment to me or not. I don't care what they think of me. You know, I will give, you know, I don't let people watch my videos before they go live. You know, I will say stuff I don't like about certain things. You know, I using launch, because I've, you know, for years I used Snap-on, I've used Bosch, I've used Autel a bunch. You know, I owned Snap-on, paid for Snap-on, paid for Autel. And while the Autel could do a lot of things, the hardware always let me down. And when I, you know, started using Launch, despite them sending it to me, once I got used to the software, the tablets weren't dying on me. The software worked just as well as Autel once I figured out how to navigate. But the tablets still work, and comparison of my Autel stuff, they wouldn't continue working. After 2 years, I had to keep them plugged up. Otherwise, they would die. And that didn't happen with the launch stuff. And that's big thing for me is, so anyway, little rant about getting called a shill, but I report what I see, and that's what I've seen is the launch tablets don't die and the Autel ones do. So what are the updates for? Just to update the tool as newer cars come out so they can work with those. Updates do very many things. Actual bug fixes with the tool itself. Snap-on's famous for that. Making you pay for software problems in their software. But that's universal across everybody. Bug fixes, you've got, they add test for existing vehicles. They may add PIDs that they didn't have before. They may refine some stuff on how it works, you know, whether a test does this or that. And they found out the algorithm they're using isn't quite right. So you might get false results. They'll update that. And then as well of that, new cars that have come out since the tool was updated. ISO, what's up? Icon Light. I have not checked out new Icon Light. Icon lighting. 1,000 lumens. No, I'm not giving you my location. So no, I have not seen it. And it's not, whatever it is, it's not coming up. I mean, honestly, I'm not that, with UV color rendering 1,000 lumens. I mean, I nope. New tools, let's look under there. I'm not seeing anything so far. Icons, scan tools, pattern leak detector, 450. I know it's fascinating. Watch me look at a computer screen. Well, it's not coming up in new tools, so I don't know. Not on the website yet. Okay. Snap-on Matco copy. Yeah, I mean the thing about it is I've got stuff that works for what I use it for, and I'm not literally, I can't anymore justify buying a new fancy tool just because it's a new fancy tool. I've got flashlights, I've got UV lights, I'm happy with their performance. I don't want to go out and buy something new. I mean, heck, I've got color accurate lights all over my office. You know, I've got lights shining on me. I've got the color, you know, the one for Milwaukee. I've got lights all over the place. So I just don't Google icon item. Okay, I will do that. Icon light. Okay. Thousand lumens. Okay. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, but for me, if I've got stuff that works, I'm not spending money to run out and buy something new. I mean, it just doesn't appeal to me anymore, honestly. Brian McFarlane, hey FRM, do you think the millions of automotive DIY YouTube videos by mechanics have been a blessing or a curse for the automotive industry? The amount of technicians that I know that watch videos is massive. So it's not just, those videos aren't just for do-it-yourselfers. Like, I will tell you the truth. There was Thomas EXO VCDS, who's back posting, by the way, had a video on using a tool specifically for this weird setup on a Volkswagen. I watched that video about 20 freaking times trying to figure out how exactly to use the tool, because it's really niche and you have to get it just right, and it pops the ball out. So it's been a good thing for technicians, good thing for do-it-yourselfers. Do-it-yourselfers aren't a shop's customers. The only time a do-it-yourselfer like that is going to take it to a shop is if they realize they're in way over their head or they've screwed something up. They've broken something, etc. I've never looked at a do-it-yourselfer as a shop customer. They're really not. And that's fine. That's, you know, if they're going to do it themselves, more power to them. So I don't have a problem with them producing content for a do-it-yourselfer to show them how to do a job. It's, you know, it's fine. You know, I mean, I've got a bunch of friends that's literally what they do. So, you know, but yeah, no, like I said, I know a lot of technicians that watch videos all the time before they do a repair. Same, I will wait until a sale a couple months later or off marketplace. Yeah. I mean, I'm not running out. Do you think I'm not running out and buying something that, you know, is cool, but you know, even if it does something else does it slightly better, is that money better used somewhere else? Probably. And that's my opinion nowadays. ISO, do you think using a lab scope is common in the diesel world? No, but it is getting more common. I know a instructor that literally his core audience is diesel technicians. Chris, so if you're working in a shop and have your own scan tool, do they assist you with the cost of the tool or update costs? Maybe it depends on the shop. Do you guys get tax breaks on tools? Has any shop ever helped me pay for my scan tool? No. Has any shop ever paid for me to update my scan tool? No. Are there some shops out there that will pay for updates? Yes. Honestly, a good shop will have sufficient amounts of equipment for their workforce. That's rare. And I don't have a problem owning my own scan tool because of efficiency. I don't have to go look for the scan tool, realize its battery's dead, etc., etc. I know the condition of mine. I can just grab it off my toolbox and get right to scanning a vehicle. But no, nobody else does that. Do you guys get tax breaks on the tools? Not anymore. We used to be able to deduct the money spent on tools, but no more. Not unless you do a weird, you have to have certain setup criteria. Like, I can deduct the tools I buy because of YouTube company, but not as a technician. Chris Torbeck, what's up? Why do GM vehicles from the 80s have a certain smell that brings me back to my high school days? Old Ford trucks do that to me. They all smell the same. They all have that burning oil smell. But yeah, no, I mean, it's like Volkswagens always smell like crayons. Yeah. Canadian Diesel, I'm a vet of 43 years in this industry and use YouTube every now and then. My brain can only hold so much. Yes. I have a weird memory. I know I do. Like, I won't be able to remember what I had for dinner last night, but I can remember another technician, what he did on a car that I had no association with. I can remember what I did to it. I mean, like, simple example. My boss asked me about a car that I didn't work on. I didn't assist with working on it. All I did was assign it to a technician, saw what he sold, and I remembered everything that was done to that car. Because he was asking me about it because there was some problem with it. And I don't remember the exact details, but like, he was like, how do you remember that? Because I remember stuff like that. I just do. I mean, I remember, and it's weird because I can remember stuff I worked on 20 years ago, but can't remember stuff I just did 5 minutes ago. How my weird brain works. I mean, I can remember weird history facts. So anyway, yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, shops don't almost ever assist with any of that kind of stuff. Like the shop that, I worked at, I kind of had to twist the shop owner's arm back in the day to order the chemical for my smoke machine that the entire shop used. Because everyone in that shop used my smoke machines until the day I left. Because I had a Snap-on machine that I owned, and I had an OTC machine that OTC sent me. And the OTC mine was my private machine. Nobody else was allowed to use that machine because I got tired of waiting for my own damn smoke machine. But up until the day I got fired, the upper shop did not own its own smoke machine. And, but when I only had the one, it was running out of the smoke juice, and him and hawing about buying the smoke juice. But I'm like, this would last me forever if y'all weren't using it for me. Chris Storback met with an apprentice candidate today. She didn't know what the tire machine was. Bad sign. Depends on her level of training. You know, I don't know what her also, what does an apprentice entail usually? Apprenticeships usually, I've never had an apprentice, so usually most apprentices start out with zero knowledge. Basically, they come in, they make, not great money. They do a bunch of grunt work as they learn, but usually they come in with zero knowledge. So Erico's shop must have 150,000 in scan tools alone. Yeah, but you do realize most of them were sent, right? Yeah, he didn't pay for most of those. He doesn't do a great job of disclosing his sponsorships like he's supposed to. I'm just saying. He might be in the chat and I might be pissing him off, but something was provided, it should be mentioned. I'm not always the best at it either, keep in mind. ISO smoke machines use baby oil, no Diddy. The problem with baby oil is the perfume. If you get regular baby oil from the store, it's going to gum up. The perfume is going to accumulate on the heating element and cause poor output. You need to use medical grade baby oil with no, medical grade will come with no perfumes, or the stuff from the smoke companies. It's actually made by a company called Champion Labs, not associated with Champion Spark Plugs. They're the ones that actually make it. Years ago, another lifetime ago, when I worked for MotorVac, had a meeting with them. A lot of science went into that product. Their mineral oil is, it is like 20% higher purity than medical grade. The dye is specially selected, et cetera, but don't use just regular baby oil. Napa, not a sponsor. Well, it usually doesn't come from Napa, but he's got lots of, he has lots of people send him stuff. Think that all that Astro stuff just shows up on his door before it's released to the public because I mean, I've talked about my sponsorships, and Milwaukee sends me stuff. Milwaukee has sent me stuff for the years. I've gotten sent X-Tool, I've gotten sent Top Done, I've gotten sent AutoFix, Launch, Bosch. I've tried to disclose what gets sent to me. So anyway, I just keep JWC Tech. I just keep asking for a toolbox tour. Oh. Okay, this is going to be a little side rant. I'm sure everybody is familiar with make sure I get royalty. Yes. Everybody's familiar with royalty auto service, right? If I scroll down, okay. So this guy right here, I worked with him. That's Andrew. When Andrew was at my old shop, I did a toolbox tour of his toolbox. He did not want to be on camera doing that toolbox tour. I asked him, I go, do you want to? No. Did not want to be on camera. I asked him multiple times because he's like all enthusiastic about me doing a toolbox tour. And because he just got in that toolbox, just got it organized. And, you know, I did his roll cart, Kiwi, did not want to be on camera. And I was just scrolling through Facebook. Oh, geez, excuse me. And he's doing a toolbox tour of his toolbox with royalty. I was like, why didn't nobody want to be on camera on my channel, but they'll be on his channel? Just, you know. Chris, it's awesome that he gets that stuff. We get to see them all in action. Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with him getting, you know, stuff sent to him. It's not like I'm complaining about that. It's part of the YouTube world. And he reported that the Astro air pneumatic slide hammer didn't work for him. Which I thought was, you know, he's very honest. So don't think I'm not, you know, complaining about that he gets more tools than me. He's got a lot more viewers than I do. But yes. JWC Tech, I usually keep all my tools in good shape, so I want decide to upgrade, I can resell the tool I replace, still make money or even break even, but I never pay full retail, so there's always some room. Yeah, I don't sell tools. ISO royalty team up with your last shop. There are the ops. No. You got to remember something. I've known Sherwood for like a decade. On IATN, I've been to training events with him. I know Sherwood. In fact, I still have Sherwood's cell phone number in my phone. But anyway, Andrew hated Atlanta. And after his wife quit working for the reason they moved to Atlanta, her job in Atlanta, she quit. They decided to move either to Florida or South Georgia. He met with Sherwood. He hired him on as a shop foreman, and the rest is history. He did not want to stay in Atlanta. It has nothing to do with the old shop. There was lots of problems there. He was very vocal about a bunch of the problems that were there. So, but no, he just went and JWC Tech, I bought a few tools from your toolbox tour, specifically aviation trim tool comes to mind. I love that tool. Ryan, I work in a semi-fleet shop. Might be buying a 52-ounce US General off Craigslist. 400, they just no longer need it. Versus new, that's versus 800 new. That's awesome. Sounds like you're getting a pretty good deal. Chris, you guys do a great job on the subject of tools. Probably the best on YouTube, actually. I appreciate that. Isaiah, do you have any particular opinions, views on the manufacturer-specific school programs like GM ASEP or Ford Asset. Also be starting in apprenticeship in a few weeks. Any tips and advice? Go in to the apprenticeship, trying to learn as much as you can, any way you can. Talk to everybody. Don't bother them, but also try to learn as much as you can. But that's the big thing, is try to learn as much as you can while you're in a shop. Learn, talk to them about tools they need. You might need, if you go to work there full time as a technician, just learn as much as you can. School programs are really good if you plan on going to work on that car brand. If you're not planning on going to work for that specific brand, because it's very specific training towards the brand you're going to work at. So it'll be a lot of, Ford or GM, for example, stuff like that. Go look at specific programs only if you're interested in going in that direction. But they're also not a bad idea to take them. If you're trying to keep your options open, good way to keep your options open, because it can always help you get a job at a GM or Ford or wherever the program is, and it will be good information. It just will be brand specific. Ryan asks, are you retired from work outside of your family? No, I'm not retired. Nope, I still work. Matt, I bought a few tools you have recommended. I appreciate it. Brian, any suggestions for the automotive tool Christmas stocking stuffers for less than 25? I'll be doing a Christmas video tools later on, but I haven't compiled anything, and prices are changing very often. But yeah, I'll be doing a video like that. JWC, another tool you recommended I got was the Matco pinless. Been great for me, 100%. Love those impact sockets. I've had people, complain about them, and I'm like, not my experience. I've broken way more Snap-on than I ever have Matco pinless. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this up because I got a pack for tomorrow for my going out to a charity event at Tuxedo. So any last minute questions before I get out of here? Because yeah, I gotta pack and stuff. Get ready for tomorrow morning. So when I leave, I got everything I need. So I can do my hair. Matt, I appreciate you stopping by. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So as always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.